Am I audible? Hope you all can hear me. Yes, fine. You can hear me. Okay, shall we begin now? Okay, please go through that. I am connecting the screen. You all can able to see the screen, right? Okay, all right. So we are looking at module 3, correct? What does module 3 says about? Module 3 is all talking about what? Memory management. What it's all talking about? Memory management. Yes, someone can acknowledge me that you all can hear me. Yes?
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Yeah, yeah, fine. Okay. So here we go. Just 1 second, we'll take up the new board. Okay. So we are starting the module 3. So in this module 3, we talk about mainly about memory management. We talk about memory management. Just a second, it's not clear to me. Okay, so in this memory management, what we discuss here is first one is contiguous memory. Okay. So which means what we talk here is okay. So when we talk about memory, right? Let us say when we talk about memory, so this memory can have two different ways. One is all the memory is being given at single place, and one memory is given up here, the other memory is given up and somewhere, and some other place we get some other memory. It is like this here. If a person is having a property, let us say he is having a property of 100 acres, let us say, right? He can have a single area, he is having the 100 acres of land, or he is having something here, 40 acres here somewhere, and 50 acres here somewhere, and 10 acres here somewhere. So cuts and pieces. Okay, so where you got a single lot in one place, a single lot at one place. So this is what it is. Or you have three cars with you, you are having three cars to park. So these three cars, all three cars are parked at same place. This one sort of parking, and one car at one home and one car at other place, other car at somewhere at office. So you are parking at different places. So this is some other strategy. So now when we talk about the memory also, so memory we can call it as contiguous memory and non-contiguous memory. So this is non-contiguous memory, okay, whereas this is contiguous. This one contiguous means all at same place. All the memory what you have is at single point of place and there is no split up. Let us say this memory is starting from 0, this can be somewhere at 100. Whereas this one, it can have starting value 0 to 40 let us say something like this, and 41 to 90 for example, and let us say 90 to 100, just to make you understand. Okay, so the memory what we use in day to day also will have some sort of thing like this. Okay, so what it has the memory in this particular fashion. So all together it may have, or it may have at different locations. Okay, in this context, let us see in this what in this the first point. From this what we see here, contiguous memory. Now, so this contiguous memory can be fixed memory or it can be variable memory. This contiguous memory also, we can have an option of fixed memory. The memory is fixed, or the other option is memory is variable. The memory is fixed and memory is variable. What is this fixed and variable? What is this point fixed and variable? Can anyone say what is fixed and variable? Fixed means what? I am going to decide. Let us say this 100 acres is there, right? Now 100 acres we need to distribute to 5 people. What can be done? So each one will get 20, 20, 20, 20 like that. So 20 here and 20 here, 20 and 20 and 20. So like this the distribution will go 5 into the 5 multiplied by 20. You are going to get your distribution of 100. Correct? So now in this case it is called as fixed one. So which means what we are trying to do here. So it doesn't mean that all should be 20. It can be anyway, right? But we fix this. So this is not going to change. This is not going to change. So it is like this, like you have, okay, you have a big birthday party cake you have, and now 4 people are there in home. Nobody will come for the birthday parties, right? Only 4 people are there. Now what will happen? Usually this can be given into 4 partitions. Like let us say 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Your parent will tell like, I don't want my cake. I just want the small portion of this. Okay, you only take mine also. So full portion you only will take it off. Okay. So what does it mean here? What is that happening here is, so fixed means once I allocate to that will be given to you. Even use it or not use it, that will be given to you. Whereas variable case, what we do is, how much you need, you take that. How much you need, you take it. So like that, let us see this fixed and variable with respect to an example, and we'll try to understand how this fixed contiguous memory and variable contiguous memory. So this contiguous means what? All together at one place. All. Everything what we are talking about a single place. Only one entity we have, one memory we have. Okay. Either you make it fixed or you make it variable, it's up to you. Is that clear? So what we are discussing now, we are discussing on memory management. What we are discussing, we're discussing on memory management, how to manage this memory and what all the problems we encounter in the real time, all that we are trying to discuss, right? Yeah. So now the first point, we'll take an example here. We'll take up an example for what kind of memory. The memory what we are taking is fixed memory. So let us say this is fixed memory allocation, right? What kind of memory we told? We told it is your contiguous memory. So contiguous memory means what? One block of memory which you need to have. So let us say this is one block of memory. So this block of memory we have now. Okay. Now what we do is I'll have some requirement. Let us say these are the process. Okay. And this is the memory required. So let us say process A, process B, C, D and E, or you can take example of process. Let us say this can be given as example P1, this can be given example P2, whatever, just for reference, whichever you want you can use. This all terminology what we use for understanding. Okay, there are different processes. Is that clear? How many processes are there total? 5 processes are there. Can someone tell me how much memory it will be required? Let us say less than 10 KB you assume. So this requires how much MB? How much KB you feel? You can say the KB, memory requirement in KB. It can be MB also, but we are just referring for KB to understand. Can you say some memory here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you fill these blanks? Anyone? Hello? Okay, meanwhile, I'll do the partitions. You please tell me how much is that required. So let us say this being useful for A, this being useful for B, this useful for C, this for D, and this is for E. So this is what we allocated, let us say. So this space of this one is 8 KB, and this one here is around 2 KB. So this can be around 4 KB, and this is, let us say, 2 KB, and this again, let us say, 8 KB. So this is the memory allocated. This is what? Allocation, and this is requirement. Okay, now let us say this requires around 7 KB, and this requires around 2 KB, this requires around 4 KB, this requires around 2 KB, this requires around much will take so 6 KB, right? So what is happening here in this case? In this case, what is happening here? What was happening? See, out of 8 KB what we require here, out of 8 KB what we require here, only 7 is required, which means, so 1 MB of space, let us say this is 1 KB of this space. So let us say this is 1 KB. Which one? This portion is 1 KB. So this KB of the space we are not using. So remaining 7 KB we are using for A. And what about B? B 2 KB we require. So allocated 2 KB, it's fine. Nothing is wasted. C 4 KB required, 4 KB we gave. Nothing is wasted, again done. Okay, next is 2 KB required, 2 KB we gave. This 8 KB is allocated, only 6 KB it requires. So what we do here, again there is some space of memory. Let us say this is 2 KB of memory, approximately. This 2 KB of memory is being wasted. So this black colored one, what it got wasted here, right? So this portion of that is called as fragment. This portion of that is called as fragment, or this can also be called as what? Fragmentation. This portion of the memory is called as memory fragmentation. So now they may ask you something like, briefly discuss the memory fragmentation in case of fixed memory allocation for contiguous memory. Are you clear with what I am saying? So you can take up an example. Now you see here the memory arrangement is being done in fixed allocation. So which means whether it will take 6 KB or it will take, one second, whether it will take 6 KB or it will take 4 KB or 2 KB doesn't bother. Whether it will take 6 KB, 2 KB, 4 KB, 5 KB, it doesn't bother. So they have given a space here for 8 KB. Okay, so which is fixed. So this kind of things is, this kind of structure is called as your fixed memory allocation. This kind of structure is called as what? Fixed memory allocation. So in this process, what is that we are getting? We are having a problem of this with something called as fragmentation. This portion you see here, so this corresponding portion is getting wasted. So this corresponding portion here and this corresponding portion here, these two are fragmented or wasted. So this is called as fragmentation. Now how to overcome this memory fragmentation problem is one of the challenge for us. In case of fixed, we have a problem with memory fragmentation. Now let us see second one. Like, what is second one? Second one is what? Variable Second one is variable memory allocation. Variable memory allocation. Why we are doing variable memory allocation? Why we are doing variable memory allocation? So this one we are trying to do for what? To avoid this. To avoid the fragmentation, like we got fragmented, right? What is fragmentation? We have seen here. So this is getting wasted. If I am giving fixed memory, it is getting wasted. If I am giving fixed memory, it is getting wasted. Let us say after lockdown, we have around movie promotion is going on. We have around 1,000 tickets or 100 tickets are there. Let us say 100 tickets we got. Like movie tickets, premium show, we got 100 tickets. Now what I am doing, each one of you who are there in the class now, I'm going to give you 1 ticket, or let us say 10 people I have identified from the class, right? I have given 10 people, okay, each one of them 10, 10, 10 like that. Like this I have given 10 into 10 tickets, which will give to 100. Some of them may not go at all to movie. Some of them may not use it. Some of them will use it effectively. Okay. So what will happen then? Some of them will go waste, like this fragmentation, like it will go waste. So what I'll do instead of that, what we'll do, like it will happen, right? When you go to any university, or when you go to, let us say when you came to join the college, what will happen? They'll be calling you and asking you how many of you are coming. Before how many of them may come, what we did in case of fixed case, one second. Yeah, in case of fixed case, what we are doing, how many of them may come, we are going to give, let us say 4 food coupons we are trying to give. Even they use it or not use it is not the thing. Blindly we are giving 4 food coupons for everyone. It can be 10 people they have, or it can be only 2 people, but the number of coupons given is only 4. That is fixed. Now this variable is what? Based on the requirement. So based on the requirement, how many you need, they'll ask you. They need 2, they'll give 2. How many you need? They need 4, they'll give 4. How many you need? They need 9, they'll give 9. Okay, average you take actually 4 3s 12 actually we are given, but in this case 9 10 11 12 13 14. Okay, 13 15 we give. Something like 2 extra we gave maybe. Right? That is not the condition here. So you got the idea what is fixed and what is variable. You got a clarity, some idea you got? Now what is this variable here? Let us see. So this memory is again contiguous memory, which means we have the memory in single block. Only one block we have. The memory completely is located in a single block. Now let us say we give, in this contiguous memory we have a single block. Okay, let us say, so this memory we have allocated here. Now let us say assume that this much portion of the memory is 7 KB. Now A requires also 7 KB. So we have allocated this for A. Now process B requires around 2 KB. Okay, so we'll allocate this much space of 2 KB for this. Don't think like it is too much long, sir. 7 KB is small than 2 KB. It's just for understanding I am drawing here. It's 2 KB. Now process C requires around 4 KB. It's all example we are trying to understand. So we'll allocate this one for 4 KB. So process C will occupy here. And process D will require, let us say 2 KB. So we'll allocate here 2 KB of space. I'll write D here. Then process E, we have something. Process E will require 8 KB, let us say. I'll allocate this 8 KB of space. I'll give process E here. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to fix it, or we are trying to vary it. What we are trying to do, which one we are following? We are not fixing it, right? We are varying it. As per the requirement, we are allocating the spaces. So this is called as variable memory allocation. Using this way, what we can do, we can avoid the problem of fragmentation. Avoid the problem of fragmentation. Is it clear what is meant by fragmentation and why we need to avoid it? Is that clear to you all? Any doubt with this? So first one is what? First one is what? We are trying to see, listen carefully, we are trying to see the module 3 of memory management. Okay, so this is the module 3, memory management we are trying to see. So memory management, memory can be of two types. It can be of contiguous or non-contiguous. So contiguous means what? All of them are located at same place. You can see this here, all the memory is located at same place. But whereas here they are located at different places. So this is contiguous and this is non-contiguous. Now in this contiguous we have the problem here. We can have a problem, like not problem actually, we can have the allocation of fixed allocation or we can have allocation of variable allocation. Either it can be fixed or it can be variable. So what is this fixed allocation? Fixed allocation means what? I'll give the space of A, B, C, D fixed. Whatever the process size, I'm not bothering, I'm just giving it fixed. Okay, so because of that we get some problem of something called as fragmentation problem we occur. Okay, to avoid this fragmentation problem, what we are trying to do, we are trying to do something called as variable memory allocation. We are trying to do, why we are trying to do, to avoid the fragmentation. So this is what the basic concepts of what fixed memory allocation and variable memory allocation. Is that clear to you all, fixed and variable memory allocations? Any doubts in that so far? Hello?
No, sir.
Yeah. Now let us try to see something called fragmentation. What exactly is the fragmentation? How this fragmentation will occur? And then we'll see the difference of this fixed and variable. Or let us see fragmentation only first. After that we'll see the differences. Okay. So what is this fragment, or let us say fragmentation? So anyway we can write fragment or fragmentation. What is this? This fragmentation also we can occur, this fragmentation can occur in two ways. One is it can occur internally or this can occur externally, which means the fragmentation can be internal or the fragmentation can be external. How do we understand this fragmentation? Okay, let us take an example for reference. Internal fragmentation. Let us do this one for internal fragmentation. So these are all basics I am trying to give to you. Once you understand this, then the further concepts will be very easy if you understand this basic concept. Okay, you should know basic difference of what is contiguous memory, non-contiguous memory, and what is fixed allocation, what is variable allocation, and what is fragmentation, internal fragmentation, external fragmentation. If this much idea you have, then you can go through it. Any example, hardly it will take 10 minutes to you to understand. Okay, right. Now let us try to see some examples. This fragmentation, this fragment, we can also call this as fragment. This fragment or fragmentation, or we can also call this as a whole. Okay, yeah, right. So let us go into the details. So this is the contiguous memory allocation. Contiguous memory allocation means what? All the memory is at single location, single point we have the memory. This is the memory what we have, right? Now this memory, what we can try to do here is we are trying to assign. See this one here, I am trying to partition it to half. I'm giving one half to assign to one of the process, and I'll give other half to other process. I'm going to assign this. Okay, all of them. This is what, this is actually, this is what assigned it is. We are going to assign this. Okay, here also we have assigned it, right? So when once we assign it defaultly, it is fixed or variable? Once we assign it defaultly, is that fixed or it's variable?
It is fixed, sir.
It is fixed. So internal fragmentation usually will happen in fixed or variable. In general, I'm not picking
Fixed.
hypothetical answers. In general, fixed it is, right? Yeah. Now, out of this much, what we have here, let us say we have used only this portion, or let us say I'll use this color. Yeah, this much I have used. So this portion, what I am darkening here, right? So this much of portion, I have used it. For what I have used it? Let us say I have used it for process P1, or let us say process A, I have used it. And this portion is became what? It became a fragment. So this portion has became a fragment. this portion is unused. Let us say this fragment, or we can call it as unused portion or fragment, or let us say it's a whole, different names they use in different terminologies, or fragment, whatever it is. Okay, the concept here, what we are trying to understand here is what is this internal fragmentation. This is called as an internal fragmentation. Let us say again some more thing here. We can understand here also. I have used this much of portion. I have, let us say I have used this one. This much of memory is being utilized. So this much of memory, it is used. This is used for, let us say, process P2. Okay, let us say, or process B. Now this here also we got some fragment. Here also we got some fragment. Okay, now so let us say this one can be around 40 kb. What I have used can be around 10 kb approximately, correct? So which means 40 kb of the memory is being fragmented, and 10 kb of the memory, or let us say this one is 10 kb, let us say here this is 10 kb. So which means altogether 40 kb and 10 kb, if you add that, it is 50 kb. So 50 kb of that, let us say this complete thing is around 100 kb. This complete process is 100 kb. Out of the 100 kb, half of that is being wasted. So wasted is more, it became fragmented. It became fragmented. Now let us say process C is there. Process C is of 50 kb. It needs the memory. Now we have 50 kb of memory. Can we give that to this memory? Can we use this? There is some new process, let us say called 50 kb of the process. We need that. Can we use that now? Can we use that or not? No, right? It is not possible. Correct? So this is the problem of fragmentation. How to avoid this fragmentation is what we are going to learn in this memory management. That's what the unit name, right? Memory management. Now you got the problem, you got a challenge. How to overcome this challenge is what we are going to study. So next is what? Next is your external fragmentation. Now what we did is all looks same, but only small change you try to understand. Yeah, next is second one is what? External fragmentation. Next one is what? External fragmentation. I'll show the difference of these two. Don't worry. Just try to understand this diagram. Let us say we have the memory. This also is contiguous memory, which means we have a single block of memory. We have a single block of memory. Now, in the previous example, what we have did here is we have assigned from here to here. Let us say this is the half portion. Full we have assigned. Now, what we will do here is we will assign only this much. That one I am not assigning it itself. Okay, and here also what we are trying to do, we are trying to assign only this much. Let us say I am assigning only this portion. So this much is only assigned. Okay, here also we assigned only this much. Okay, now in spite of that, in spite of this assignment here, so this much of portion is assigned, this much of portion is used. So we have assigned it and we have used it. So this is used portion. And here also this much is assigned, so this much is used. Whatever the kb it is, we are not bothering as of now. This is used. Okay, but in spite of that, we got 40 kb of that is not used, fragmented, and in this from 10 kb is being fragmented. So this again, this portion is becoming fragmented. So before what we did, the allocation has been done. Before what we did, the allocation is being done, and one more fragment is there here. Let us say you can see that fragment here. One more fragment. Where is that fragment? Here. Here also we got some fragment. Okay, just to show you, I have drawn it like this. Yeah. Now, what is the takeaway from this? So even before it's like fixed allocation. You see this carefully. Before it's like fixed allocation. Whether you use it or not, I'm going to allocate this much space. You have used it. Now here it is not fixed. It's a variable allocation. So once again, You need 40 kb, or you need how much? That much is allocated. Okay. So this is now is like variable allocation. Even you do variable allocation also, we are able to get the fragments. Even we are doing fixed allocation also, we are going to get the fragments. So the fragmentation problem is not getting avoided. Okay. Why it is called external? Why it is called external fragment is, let us say we have some external process we have. Before we have some internal process, now we have some external process. So this external process, let us say it's called C. Okay. So this process C requires some 50 kb. Can be able to give this 50 kb, 40 kb fragment here, 10 kb fragment here, and 5 kb fragment here, for example. So we are having, for reference on total, it looks like 50 kb allocation is available, but 50 kb, 55 is available. Available is 55 kb. Required is 50 kb, but in spite of that, we cannot able to give the process to load into the memory. Okay, so this is called as what? External fragmentation. You got the difference of internal fragmentation, external fragmentation, fixed fragmentation, or let us say fixed memory allocation and variable memory allocation. You got the difference of this? Yeah. Now let us say we'll talk about something. What is the difference between fixed memory allocation and variable memory allocation? What is meant by fixed memory allocation? What is variable? What are the positive points here? What are the positive points here, and what are the negative points here? Let us discuss. Yeah. Can you tell me what are the positive points? Lighter note. Which one is easy in these two?
Variable, sir.
So variable is easy, you feel? Fixed is easy, right? No need to think anything. Just you allocate and leave it. If two are there, 50-50. Whatever you want, you do. Right? If you have to give 70-30, you have to ask why you are giving 70 for them, why not for me? Questions will come, right? Means arguments will come, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So fixed will be comparatively the point easy. It is easy to easy to implement. This one is slightly easy to implement. Okay. And what are the positives in fixed allocation still? And so that will be so in this case, the negative of that we can write it as negative of that we can write it as what? So it is more. Why it is not easy is we have more overhead. We have more overhead for process, or let us say we'll take up in this way. It is like difficult to implement, let us write. So this is a negative. There's positive there, that's negative here, right? Obviously. So we'll write it here. It is difficult to implement. Difficult to implement. And let us say what is the positive again here. One more positive. Can you think and tell what is one more positive? So what we talk about overhead. Overhead, what we talk about. Overhead is which one? Overhead is easy. Overhead is less or minimum. Less overhead and more overhead. So fixed will have no headaches, right? So we can tell it as less overhead. Right? And then this will become the drawback here. It will be what? It will be more overhead. You know that overhead means what? Along with the work what we have to do extra work. So before we need to just allocate the memory and do it. Along with that, we need to do the partitions, we need to give the assignment spaces, all that. So we have more overhead here. Okay. And now what are the positives here? Let us see. What are the positives in this variable side? What is the positive? What is the positive here is if you do in variable type, we do not get the fragmentation internally. So no internal fragmentation. No internal fragmentation. If you use variable thing, we will not get any type of internal fragmentation. But in this, the minus is what? Even though we use fixed, we get the internal fragmentation. So this internal fragmentation is the minus there. Correct? And what else positives we have in this variable? What is one more positive here? What is the positive here is what? There is no process size limitation. Process size limitation. There are no limitation, right? It is variable. Okay, but in this case, what will happen? We'll have the negative side of this one will be what to write? You can write in your own way. Limited. What is this? Limited process size. Along with that, what else we have? Positives. And here also we have one more positive here, and there is no limitation of here. No, there is no restriction. There is no restriction for what? Restriction on a number of process, right? On number of process. Okay, we have fixed right here. So we have a negative here is what? Negative point here is what? There is a limit. There is a limit on process, or let us say programs. Correct? So apart from this, anything else we can think of in the negative sides? And this one more point, you can tell me what is the negative in this? One point last. In this variable, we'll get fragmentation or will not get fragmentation? In this case, we got internal fragmentation here. In this case, we'll get the external fragmentation. This is a negative point in the variable. So these are the things what we need to understand between the difference between the fixed and variable point of view. Okay, and there is some concept called as what? There is some concept called as a memory contraction. We'll see that concept. What is it? So you can see the chapter number 11 if you have the textbook with you. So in that, what you can do here is in chapter 11, you can go to 11 point. Just a second, I'll check it and tell you. Yeah, this is what we have seen in the basics part. You can straight away go to 11.6, I guess. Yeah, so today's task for you is after the class, what you need to do here is you need to go to the textbook, you read the textbook, take the textbook, and today in the textbook part, today only you should do this. The textbook, let us say page number 390. So 390 page. You can see this 11.6 section. 11.6 section. So this will talk about contiguous memory. Contiguous memory allocation. Okay, so till now what we have seen is that, so you should read and you should understand with one example, and we need to know two things here: how to handle the fragmentation, how to handle fragmentation. This concept you need to know, and you need to know the concept of memory compaction. So I'll tell you that, I'll teach you that memory compaction. So fragmentation we already discussed just now. It's memory compaction, and there's some concept of called swapping. So these three concepts you need to know. Along with that, you need to know one example for that. So this much you can do it. Your first topic, memory contiguous memory allocation, will be completed. So in this we have discussed about fragmentation part, and let us discuss the next one, memory compaction. What is this word compaction? What is compact, or let us say compaction? It's not actually subtopic, but just to make sure that we are saying COMPACTION. what this compaction will do is, it will give the solution. It will give the solution for fragmentation. Okay. So what is the meaning of that? If you see this here, if you see this example here, just a minute. If you see the example here, now even you have, it can be internal, external, whatever, we are not bothered here. Now you have 40 kb here. If you look at that, you can see this here, you have 40 kb here and you have 10 kb here. Okay, and you have a new process called 50 kb. We need the memory, but we are not able to do that because of fragmentation. Now we do something now to overcome this fragmentation. We can able to give this 50 kb of memory to the process C. So this process, what we do is called as compaction. This is called as memory compaction. So what is that? Let us see that now. An example. What is this memory compaction? Okay. Yeah. So just it's very simple. Usually what will happen? Who will handle the memory will be handled by kernel. The kernel is going to handle the memory. Let us say we have three diagrams here. This is the memory. Single point of memory we have, single memory. It is contiguous memory. Okay. And this is the kernel here. So this is the kernel space. The memory is being taken by kernel. This memory is taken by process A. This memory is taken by process B. This is taken by process C. This is taken by process D. So we are not bothered about internal, external, fixed variable, all that. Okay. And this much here is unused. Let us say, for example, this much is unused. So as of now, what we should understand, all this is preoccupied by kernel. We cannot change it. That much is default for kernel. Okay, this is A, B, C, D we have allocated. This is your fragment. Okay. Now, if you take the time scale, let us say at 0 we started. Let us say after some time of 5 seconds, for reference, time of 5 seconds, this process A, B, C, D are there. So let us say we start with process B. The process B is completed. It is completed. So it is out of the box now. Now, which means what actually will happen? The same diagram. If you see this one here, this corresponding process B, this corresponding process B has completed its job. Okay, this B is no more to be used. It is done. It is not required. So what will happen to this? That will lead to a fragment. Let us say if you draw the sketch again. Here, okay, same block we are trying to draw. Okay, so this much will go for kernel, we have already discussed. This will go for A. Now this much space for B, right? This much space for B. So this much space for B is completely empty. So this much space of B is like it became a fragment. This much space for P, it completely had became a fragment. Let us say C space, it is still there because C has to complete. D space, it is there, and this is unused here. Let us say we are not bothering about that. This is not there. Yeah, this is for kernel. This for process A. Process B is done, completed, right? So process C and process D are there. Okay. Now here comes the question. Now let us say we need to accommodate one more process E. We need to accommodate one more process E. E is the new process. How to accommodate this one here? Okay. E require the space little more than what B has. Let us say, for example, this B is having the space of around 20 kb, and we have some more fragment here. This fragment will have around 10 kb. This is all example I am taking to make you understand. Now E requires around something called 25 kb. If B requires 20 kb, there is no problem. Directly we can accommodate the space of E to here. But E requires now 25 kb, which means what we need to do, we need to adjust some portion of this one. This much of portion we need. Let us say for reference, and we need this entire portion also, this much portion also we need. So it becomes 20 kb, and out of this half we need to use, divide half of that we can use it. So 5 I'll take it from that. So it becomes 20 and 5, 25 I can allocate for BE. So this process of that is called as what? Memory compaction. So what will happen in the next diagram here, in the C diagram, if you see here, this is, let us say, one second. Yeah, this is, let us say, your first diagram A, and this, let us say, your second diagram P. Now this is before the compaction, before memory compaction is the process. Now what will happen to your diagram C? So this diagram C is this single memory, so contiguous memory. It is done. I am taking the same size I have taken. So this much portion is used for kernel. Okay, and the memory for A, it is used same, right? A is used same. Now we are rearranging it. Now what we are trying to do, we are giving for C again some memory, we are giving for D some memory, and we are giving the new space for E now. And slight portion of this is been unused. This has become, slight portion has become a fragment. Okay, so this how we are able to allocate the new process here, and we are adjusting the memory. So this part is called as what? Your compaction. What we are trying to do, we are trying to accommodate somehow, right? This is what will happen for you, right? When your new friend comes to your room, actually your room can accommodate only 3 cots. Your room can accommodate only 3 cots here. So cot 1, cot 2, cot 3. Only this much of space you have. Okay. Now what you will do? What if your new friend comes into your as a guest? Your cousin came to your home as a guest. Now you will adjust somehow here. 1 will adjust slightly, 2 slightly will adjust, 3 slightly will adjust, and 4. So you can accommodate same space. You are allocating 4 people. Same space almost. You are allocating 4 people, which means you are adjusting to yourself, and you are making sure that you are comfortable, and you are adjusting yourself. That corresponding thing, what we do in our Reddit, is called as compaction. So through that compaction technique, compaction method, we can able to avoid the fragmentation in the memory. So that's the first topic. Okay, right. Again, swapping. When we talk about swapping, the basic mechanism of the swapping is what? Rotating behind it. So rotating behind is what? The kernel swaps around. It will be taking in, taking out, all that. So swapping in is what? Before it was there here, it was swapped to this. The space was swapped back to this space. So through that swapping, we can able to do it. So now what we are trying to do, 2 things we need to learn here in terms of a contiguous memory. You need to learn 2 things. We can avoid this contiguous, we can manage this memory, contiguous memory, by handling, we can handling fragmentation. The handling fragments, we can avoid this problem, or by swapping we can avoid this problem. So these are the 2 techniques you need to learn in contiguous memory. Is that clear? So read page chapter 11.7. Okay, read what I told you already. This much you please read it, and you understand, you are done with it. So what is this? Yeah, please open the textbooks from today. You please start reading. Okay, and you be prepared. So textbook you should read page number 390. It is 11.6, chapter 11, 6th topic. So every day you need to read one topic, so that you'll understand easily. What is that you need to learn? You need to learn contiguous memory allocation, how to handle it, and how to swap it. There are 2 paragraphs, one paragraph is there here, and you read that and you understand what is memory. Handling it can be solved by using compaction. Okay, so this much you please read, and you understand the concepts. Is it clear? So textbooks are uploaded in the team section. You can able to refer to that, or you can download that. PPTs you want, I'll give you. PPTs are there. I'll give that PPTs to you. Okay, don't worry, I'll give the PPTs part to you. Textbooks also, you please start reading, so that will be the end of the day. It will help you a lot. Why? Because we cannot explain all these concepts in the notes. This is not there for your curriculum actually. But to understand all this, we need to go back to the backgrounds core, and we need to understand. right? So every day, please listen to the classes, and I'll tell you, if you listen to the classes, I'll make sure that it'll help you a lot for exams. Once you read every day, 15 minutes if you can spend, it's enough. Okay, that much I can do it to you. Yeah. So any doubts? I'm stopping the presentation here. Any doubts we can discuss? Any doubts or any clarifications?